but good afternoon, everyone. My name is Celina Miranda, and I'm the Executive Director of Hyde Task Force. I'm going to stand here on the side because I'm trying to be technology savvy today. Not usually the way I operate, but my husband insisted. It's a pleasure to be here today. I am the Executive Director of Hyde Task Force, which is a youth development organization. And I'm here to tell you a little bit about our efforts to designate or to create or to name or recognize our neighborhood as Boston's Latin Quarter. So Hyde Square Task Force was created or was founded over 25 years ago. It came out of, in reaction to what was going on in the community at that time. So the community was rampant with violence, drug trafficking, and in fact it was known as the New England's cocaine capital. So there was a lot of drug activity happening at that time, and also violence and gang activity. So out of that, a group of neighbors came together, hence our name, a task force, that came together in response to that. And from the very beginning, young people became central to our work. So youth have been at the core of everything that we do. And part of the work, in addition to service delivery to youth, we've always been very focused on advocacy and organizing. So that has been at the core of the work that we do. And over time, we have fought against big box retail stores. At one point, Kmart wanted to come in, and our young people were central and focused and advocated and organized against that, and Kmart did not happen. And then we've also pushed for affordable and equitable development in our neighborhood all throughout these years. Now, this has resulted in a thriving and more stable community, but what has happened is we've seen sort of the effects of that, right, which has been gentrification. So where are we in the map when I talk about the Latin Quarter? We are located in the Jamaica Plain neighborhood of Boston, and it is an area with a deep history of Latino immigration. At one point in the 50s, it was primarily Cuban, then also Puerto Rican. Then during the Civil War in El Salvador, in the 70s and 80s, we saw an influx of Central American immigrants as well. And then most recently, the most recent wave of immigrants are actually Dominican. And what remains in the area is a strong flavor of Latino Caribbean culture. So Afro-Latin culture is big, and you can see it when you walk up and down the neighborhood. And our neighborhood right now, or at least our shopping district, 65% of 125 businesses are immigrant owned. And 40% of the population is Spanish speaking. That very similar to what Giles just shared is that in our neighborhood, we've seen a lot of changes happening recently. So you have luxury condos that are coming up and being there. And so in that context, we've been activating. And what we did most recently is that our young people worked with the City of Boston City Councilors to name that particular area of the neighborhood Boston's Latin Quarter. And we're currently working, so that happened in 2016. So now it is known by the City of Boston as the Latin Quarter. And now we're working with the City of Boston to get it recognized as one of the cultural districts in the Commonwealth. So that is our most recent work. But we're experimenting with what does it mean to do placekeeping, right? How do we maintain the history of the neighborhood, what it has been, and making sure that the residents that remain, because there is still a presence of Dominican and Cuban and Puerto Rican residents, how do we make sure that it's still a place where they belong, where they see themselves reflected in what's going on in the neighborhood? So those are the efforts that we're working on right now, and we'll get into the details, obviously, during the conversation.